Right, hopefully you can hear me now. Can you see me now? Do you have me now? Am I back? It was having the laptop on at the same time. Oh, what a palaver. Yeah, I know I can't help the vertical. For some reason, it's decided it's vertical and it won't switch back. And I'm going to just go with it. I'm going to go with it. Ah, right. Okay. Well, what I will do, I will remember next time to have it in horizontal when I set up. So, okay, folks, now I'm going to try with the light off so I can actually see what you guys are saying. Is the light all right? Is the light okay? Technology. What a thing. Right. Well, welcome to now. What I'm trying to do with these lives is basically get the technology, get my head around the technology before the summer next year. And it will take me that long. And the reason for that is that we're going to have the garden railway outside. And when the garden railway is running in the summer, the lives are going to be much better because there'll be things happening. And, so we will get there and I will fix the orientation next time. I now know what it is. Thank you for flagging that up. Now, the subject for our little chat tonight is when you've got a layout and you've had it for many years and you've built it, you might not have finished it because they're never finished, but you've decided you want to do another one and you need the space. Do you guys prefer to rip up the old one or find a home for the old one? And that's basically the gist of it, really. So, yeah. Sorry? LGB or Pico Garden Railway. It's going to be double O. It's going to be Pico with a C. Yeah, well, it's going to be double O scale. Now, the idea is we're going to have two loops going around the garden. We've been building, well, my father's been building the shed, which is remarkable. He's 81 years old and he's building this signal box thing for himself, which is basically his den. And the trains are going to run through that. So yeah, well, the thing is, this layout is the one we've been using for the all the reviews and the photographs of products and things. That was what I built it for. But we want to do a 009 and 00 exhibition layout combined. And in order to do that, we need to make space. So it means either ripping up what's there already or finding a home for the quarry layout. And I was wondering if you guys have got any experience. Have you guys come to the point that you decided to, replacing a layout? With us, it's purely a space situation. That's the reason for the garden railway, because we can't run anything bigger than a tank engine in the house, really, with the space that we've got with the business and everything. So what we thought of doing is we do a garden railway, then we can have a big loop. Space isn't a problem, and it gives us a feature in the garden. So so that's the idea. Bridge of Doom. I don't know what that refers to, but yeah. And the idea of the garden railway also is that with with the garden railway, it's all going to be modular, connected up with different sections all connected up, so that if I move, I don't have to redo the whole thing. It's all going to be we've got special legs that I've 3D printed so that they're adjustable. So if the height of the garden changes, which it does over time, I can just adjust the screw and alter the height of the layout so that it stays level. And that means that it can be moved to another place. So this is the long term. This is the long term plan with that garden railway. The other thing we're doing at the moment, and you may have seen the video that went live last week, is we're doing FPV. We've got FPV cameras that you can actually watch in real time. So we'll be able to put an FPV camera on the trains that are going around the garden railway, put goggles on, and literally be on the train. So that's another thing we're doing, because I fly drones and I can get hold of the equipment. So I've started doing that, and I'm also making those available for people to. Can I do a backflip? No, I can barely walk. Never mind a backflip. So so yeah, so that is the yeah, exactly. It's all about being modular and removable, and you know, hold on a second. FB. Yeah, the thing with the FPV is that it always looks worse if you've recorded it. It's meant to be seen live, really. It does look better on the screen in front of you when it's live, and it allows you to actually be on the train in real time. If you've got a high definition camera, you get a certain amount of lag, which you don't want on a drone, which is why we don't use it. Hi, Anfield Road layout in the loft. So anyway, so what do you guys do? So what do you guys do at the end of a layout? I'm loath to rip it up because of the work that's gone into it, but at the same time, it's done its job. So you know, so there's various, you know, there's various ways that I can go with that layout, and you know, so I thought I would ask your opinion. So what have you guys all been up to? Anyone been up to anything interesting, shows wise, or anything like that? Yeah, it probably will get scrapped, but the thing is that, you know, the actual wire, it's all wired up and the track's laid and it all works, and it seems a pity just to scrap it, really. But it's a great layout. It's only that I need space, really. It's all down to space, isn't it? That's the reason why I'm getting rid of that layout. So if you know anybody who wants a shunting layout, go get in and out. It's not a roundy. It's a quarry layout. By all means, drop me a line. But what's coming up on the channel? We are getting ready, and we have been working on a layout for a customer, which we are nearing finishing. And we will film that, or we are filming that, to go on the channel at a later date. We're also we're going to Gaydon in a few weeks with our trade stand, and we're going to have lots of new products there. We've got products on our website which are new, if people want to check that out. It's www.enwinsmodels.co.uk. Oh, and I forgot an important bit of business. You see, We are on exactly 700 subscribers on this channel. So if any of you fine, wonderful folk are not subscribed, don't forget to give us a thumbs up, because the thumbs up really, really helps, because it tells people like us that there's something here that they will like. And that's always a big help. But the subscribers, it doesn't cost a penny, as you guys know, but giving us a subscription helps us to that magic 1,000. You know, so it's a big help to the channel. And obviously, please, moderator, feel free to post the links to other channels that are on the live stream, so that we can all sort of check on who we haven't got subscriptions to, and we can subscribe, because that I think is a nice thing about the community. We can all sort of support each other and help each other too. That is a problem. Current Christmas layout is not compatible with tree stand designs. Hello, Alexander. No. I was just speaking generally. I do appreciate all your help, Timbersurf. I really do. So yeah, so basically I've got this quandary with the with that layout, what to do with it. I'm probably going to give it a couple of months, and if nobody's put a request in for it or made an offer for it, I will chop it up, I think. Thank you very much, Delft Junction. I appreciate that. A new Christmas layout with more spectacular landscape. That should be quite interesting. There was at Gaydon last year, actually, there's a really nice layout with snow on it. Not been overdone. It was just nicely, nicely done. Oh God, yeah, guys in Lambretta in Parkers and the Lambrettas. What makes me laugh, right, is I still think of mods and rockers as relatively okay. They're before my time, but I still think of them as relatively young. And you see these old guys on scooters, and it's sort of like it brings it home that time moves on. And thank you to everybody who has been supporting the channel, and by all means do leave comments on the videos and check out the videos as well. There's quite a few decent exhibitions we've been to recently, and of course, like I said, the next one is Gaydon. We'll be filming that. Yeah, there's a lot of bugs going around. Everyone be careful. And I think, the old one thing that's good about the COVID situation was we always had masks on, and the masks did a lot to stop us catching other bugs as well. I remember having a year of relatively good health that year, ironically. So yeah, everyone be careful. Don't be afraid to put the mask on. Delft Junction who's a rocker. Yeah, my dad said that he was more inclined towards the rockers. It was before my time, so I sort of missed that boat. Sort of in the 70s, I was pre-teen. In the 80s, I was in my teens. We're into motorbikes now. See, I'm into the cars myself. That was another reason why I never got into the mods and rockers thing. We also have other channels as well, but I won't bore you with those. That's one of the things that sort of knackers me out as much, doing several YouTube channels at the same time. Oh, Brother-in-Law was in Quadrophenia. Now there was a film, Leslie Ash. She was a goddess back then. At least that was how I remembered her. And the star of that film, his most lasting memory of recent time, was Part Life. I thought he did a good little voiceover in Part Life. That is cool. Having someone who's in Quadrophenia, whether they were a mod or a rocker. I mean, there was quite a cast in that. Quite a cast. Phil Daniels, yeah, Phil Daniels. I think Toya was in it. Sting was in it. He was the antagonist, wasn't he? Honda 750? You can't be a proper rocker on a Honda. Surely. Surely it's got to be a British bike, doesn't it? Or am I way off? I do know a story about the Fonz's bike. The Fonz was supposed to ride a Harley, but Henry Winkler wasn't very tall, and he kind of fell off it. You know, when it was on its stand, he just sort of... So they turned up with a Triumph, and he'd never ridden a bike before. He was absolutely terrified, but it was only in a couple of scenes, and the die was set. He was riding a Triumph. Don't know if anyone's interested in that. I'm full of useless information. Yeah, this is true. I think we've drifted away from railways a little bit. There's going to be less and less steam on the main line again unless they carry on building new locos, because all the locos seem to be getting retired, don't they? The steam. I don't really go for diesels and heritage runs and excursions. I grew up with diesels. I know I'm not trying to criticize people who are into diesels, but I'm a steam person myself. I saw an interesting little thing on YouTube recently about the Norton bikes with the old rotary engine. What a fantastic piece of kit that was. Yeah, I think the thing is that with mainline steam is the locos are getting older. We've got to take into account that they are getting older, which is why railway modelling is a good thing, because we can keep them alive in spirit, if nothing else. Yes, there are quite a few problems, but it's worth it. That's the important thing. It's worth it. It's a pity we'll never see a 9F again on that main line. What an amazing thing, but they can't do the flangeless wheels on the main line anymore. What would you guys run on the Garden Railway? Because one of the things I'm thinking of doing is when the Garden Railway's up and running, we're doing the live streams and so on. I'm thinking of having occasional garden parties where I invite some YouTubers or even manufacturers to come along and run locos on the line. We're going to have a HM7000 DCC loop, and we're going to have a DC loop so that we can control the locos on the phone from anywhere in the garden. So you don't have to chase them around or try to see where they are. And that's another reason for the FPV. When they go behind a hedge and a cat's sitting there, we know what's happened. So what would you guys run on the inaugural run on the Garden Railway? If you guys were to come along with your own locos, what would you say should be run on the garden loops? Yeah, there is a reducing volunteer workforce, but if there's enough interest in those special trains, that will pay the wages, as it were. US for something different, yes. Someone's got any US locos. I would certainly not object to that. The idea is that when I invite people, I'm not going to say, oh, you've got to run this or you've got to run that. So long as it's either DC or it's got a HM7000 chip in it and you've got a controller that you can, you're connected to the loco, it will run. That's the only stipulation. Yes, but I like the fussiness of UK locos. It's because we've got good quality coal. Or we had good quality hot coal. It's now still buried in the underground. Yeah, well, the themed railway running days are something we're going to do. For example, my father's got a Garrett. I've got a 9F. And we've got various other locos. So we're basically going to have, I thought one thing we're going to have is an Era 1, because I've got a locomotion number 1, and that'll take ages to go around the Garden Railway, but I think it'll be brilliant if we have a train alongside with the FPV pointing at it. So you'd be able to actually follow locomotion number 1 as it goes along. That's the plan. That's the plan. Well, they some of the new builds, they are experimenting more with and developing or modifying the fireboxes a little bit so that they run better on the smokeless stuff, which isn't as good as real coal, but that's one of the things. Or you could have it, yeah, express trains one day or freight another, or you could run a combination of the two. The idea is with the Garden Railway is basically we can sit in the garden on a decent day and film loads of stuff to see us through the winter, so that when I'm doing this, another thing I thought of doing is if you've got the FPV footage, not just the FPV footage, I've got also a cube cam, so I could literally put the loco running away and I'm sort of traveling backwards on my videos when I do my videos. This is true. This is true. On narrow gauge, it seems to be less of a problem because the deviation doesn't need to be a great deal from the original drawings. I know for certain that Corris. I remember one of the firemen telling me that number 10 runs better, strangely, on the runs steams very well on the smokeless fuel. So, yeah. Yeah, absolutely. I'm thinking in terms of, an express train with 12 or more coaches would look fantastic, wouldn't it? On the Garden Railway. And like I said, if you've got two trains running alongside each other, someone could have the FPV cameras on. Hello, Kobe. So someone could have the FPV goggles on. So you've got the trains running alongside each other. Like Australia, they do the race the trains thing. Are guns edible? Okay. Oh yes, absolutely, absolutely. For mainline, I think they'll have to stick to the original designs. Absolutely. Ew. Yeah, yellow smoke. That's the stuff that causes all the pollution, the high sulfur content. We could also have regional days on the Garden Railway as well. You could have sort of a Western, you could have a Great Western, LMS, LNER, a Scottish Day. Light grey smoke at the chimney is, yes, it is absolutely. And preferably not blowing off. That's not necessarily a good sign. A Euro Steam Day, yes, if someone has the locos. That's what I'm saying. What I'll do is I'll sort of send out invites to 2 or 3 people so that we don't have the street backed up with you know backed up with cars. And so if someone's got some Euro locos and stock, someone's got different regions, someone's got long rakes of trains, of carriages with some locos. That's the sort of thing that we could do, um, and fire up the barbecue. Sounds to me like a plan. Yes, I realise that, but we will. If someone in this country does have Euro locos, then by all means, that's what I meant. Um, but yeah, if we did do the Garden Railway days, then basically it's a case of, even if someone's got sort of modern image, I'd love to see an HST going around there, or an APT, or even modern. And I don't know how many of you saw the recording of the last live stream that we did, but we did comment on the decision by Rapido to I'm not in the northeast. I'm in the northwest. You'll have people going into the sea on the wrong side. I'm over in the west. I am. Oh dear. It will be strictly invite only for the Garden Railway thing. Surely because um, it's purely because we don't want to, clog up the street with cars. But if we had 2 or 3 people at a time, have a little garden party, fire up the barbecue, everyone does a bit of cooking for themselves, and we run trains and film them. I think that would give us a nice variety of film to show on the channel, as well as giving people a chance to give their locos a good run on this layout, which that's the idea. And it's meant to be sort of a community thing that we can sort of create a bit of an event where people come along and we, so that would be on the channel as well. We're also, during this winter, we are going to be finishing the customer layout, which we'll be delivering for Christmas, and we will be starting our new layout, which is the reason why the old layout has to go, which is the reason for the live stream. So so we're planning to basically generate some space and start creating the new layout, which we can film the development of. But it's going to be sort of a heritage line, narrow gauge and standard gauge meeting at a terminus. And I won't say any more than that because it is modular, so that we will be able to spread it out from there for shows and so on. Now, there isn't a lot happening in the... I don't see anything moving in the chat. Has it stopped suddenly? Ah, thank you very much. I thought maybe we'd stop broadcasting or something. Everyone went quiet. So yeah, the idea is that we will create things for the channel that don't involve me having to travel so much, which is getting harder with the MS. So that's another thing as well. I found that people have been tuning in more to the exhibition videos rather than the live stream videos, which is a bit of a surprise to me. Yeah, S gauge. I think that was done by Buggles Kelly Station, if I remember correctly. Really tiny. You have to have very good eyes to do that, or a magnifying glass. It's a really spectacular layout. Exactly, because there's no scenery as such in the garden, there is no bad angle. There is no bad loco. There's no bad scene. So you could have, in fact, during a day, right, you could have steam for a couple of hours. Then you could have, oh, between HO and O. Oh, right. Okay. I stand corrected. But yeah, so the you could have sort of like steam for a section of the day. You could have electric for a section of the day. You could have diesel for a section of the day on the Garden Railway, and it would give lots of different visuals for the people who are there. And also, if we can all set cameras up, we could film for our own channels. So this is another thing I thought of, is rather than me being filming and saying, this is for me, when I invite people over, they're invited to bring their own cameras or use my tripods or use some of my footage, and then they've got some footage for their own channel of their day when they're here, because the Garden Railway has so many places where you could stick a camera to get some really good shots. And you know, so it's another thing that I thought of that could be helpful for people who are video makers like ourselves. But this winter, things will kind of grind to a halt if that layout is still here. The other alternative is to move it into the garage, but I'll need some help to do that. We'll need about 4 blokes, because there's a car in there and we can't move the car. So we have to lift the layout over. So it means 2 guys on one side of the car, 2 guys on the other side of the car, and pass the layout across. It's only 7 foot long, but we still have to cross that, the back of the, you know. Okay, Garden Rail, thank you for coming along. I'm going to keep the live going for a little while longer. Not entirely sure how long people will want to watch this. So yeah, so basically, ideas for the old layout or volunteers to help me shift it. I'll need 3 volunteers, because I count as a person, don't I? I'd need 3 volunteers if I'm going to move it, but that isn't the ideal. And the other thing is the Garden Railway and what we're going to run on it. Anybody who's volunteering a rake of coaches and locos for a particular we did sort of start with the Garden Rail where we are now. There's the signal box my father has been building is not far off being finished now. Needs windows, or windows fitting. We've got 1 window. We need other windows making up and fitting. The other thing we need to do is to lay the track and make up the straight sections. We've got the wood to make the straight sections, and I'm also going to use 3D print. I've got 3D printed corners, so you've got the perfect curve, so that the locos can run quite comfortably without it being jerky, if you like. Now, we did talk about having different gauge track, but we decided to stick with 00, because most of our stock is 00, and the other stuff we've got is 009. So 009 is probably going the wrong way with Garden Railway. But what we are doing is we are going to make one exception. Because it's 00 track, we will occasionally have 7mm narrow gauge using the 00 track. We've designed it so that there is clearance for 7mm narrow gauge on the inner loop to run round on the DC line without catching on anything. There's enough clearance everywhere for that. So yes, we will have 2 gauges if you count that, but the actual gauge of the track itself is going to stay at 00. So yes, anyone who's into 7mm narrow gauge, has locos, wagons, coaches, yes, flag it up, let me know, because yes, there will be a big garden loop which will have 7mm sessions on it, and it's all DC. I emphasize DC on the 7mm narrow gauge, not DCC. You can bring your DCC locos. I just thought I would flag that up so that you're aware. We're sticking with simple DC. So, yeah, so they're the plans for the channel. Now, I've been sort of thinking about what to put on next week, and I have various options. I could do a running session on that layout that we're trying to sell, because it would be nice to do another running session on that. And the other thing I thought of doing is I filmed a video of the Brazil class locos down in Kent when all three were running before one of them went in for its overhaul some years ago, and I was saving that until we get to 1,000 subscribers. So if you want to see that, when we get to 1,000 subscribers, I will put the Brazil layout, the Brazil locos, live steam narrow gauge. I will do that, put that video up if we get to 1,000 subscribers by next Tuesday. Very unlikely. The other thing I thought of doing is that running session on the layout in the front room. In 2 weeks at 8 o'clock, I plan to do another live stream. Now, I just need to check on my calendar to see if that's the week we get back from Gaydon. 2 weeks from today. 1, 2. Yeah, that will be the Tuesday that I'm getting back from after Gaydon. I will be in a bit of a state, I'll be honest with you, because the MS will be absolutely murdering me after Gaydon. But I can do a live and talk about Gaydon, and then the week after that, I can show the Gaydon video. So that's the next. So that's 2 weeks from today, another live at 8 o'clock. And then at, so the usual videos go out every other Tuesday at 6:30, and the alternate weeks is 8 o'clock live. So that's what we're going to do from here on for a while, to see how it goes with these live stream, whether it actually are you enjoying it, listening to me rattling on, or you know, but yeah. So next week I might try and clean up the track, do a running session on that layout. Then in 2 weeks time we'll have another live, and I will talk about what went on at Gaydon. And then the week after that, I will put the video up at 6:30 of Gaydon. I think the week that takes us into the next show, which is Haywood, I think. So yeah, so basically that's the plans for the channel in the next couple of weeks. Is anybody still out there? Is anybody still out there? So I think we've done 45 minutes. I'm in danger of boring the hell out of everybody. So I think this may be a good time to end the show, as it were. I promise you, I will try and make it better as we get going. But yeah. Cheers, Pete. And thank you for dropping in. I'm going to knock it on the head in a minute. So so anyway, everybody, thank you ever ever so much for coming along to watching. Please give us a thumbs up. Please subscribe to the channel, and do check out the website, because we have got new products up, including we've got a pack, a countryside pack for starters. So you've got static grass, leaf scatter, deciduous tree, pine tree, glue, all in a pack for £20. Oh, one other thing we've got, which isn't on the website, give us a call on the company telephone number if you're interested. I have got a brand new unused static grass applicator. I bought it because it's a test item, and I just wanted to check if it was kosher. It is. I'm thinking about whether we sell them or not, but I've got one for sale for £25. If someone wants a static grass applicator, brand new, never been used, then please give us a call on the company mobile, or give us an email on the company email, which is info@enwinsmodels.co.uk. I'm sure Timber Surf will flash those numbers up for you guys. And the telephone number is also on the website. So do go to the website, give us a call. If you don't want to order things through the website, use the website to look, and then give us a phone call, because we're quite happy to work that way. It's just a case of, you know, it gives you a chance to see the visuals by going to the website. That's why it's there, really. And the other way is at shows. And of course, as I mentioned, we're at Gaydon. Then in 2 weeks, then we are at Haywood. I think it's Haywood. And then it's Alsager. So we will see some of you at all of those shows, I imagine. And yeah, so I shall give it a few minutes, and then I shall tootle off. Thank you ever so much for watching. Thank you to everyone who gave us a thumbs up. Really big thank you to everybody who gave us a subscription, because that helps us enormously. So we will strive to aim for 1,000 subscribers as soon as we can. It means a lot, and it will help, because you know, we don't make a huge amount out of the business. In fact, we don't make any money at all, really. And we definitely don't make any money out of the YouTube, so anything is helpful. So yeah, so thank you ever so much to everybody for watching. Thank you to Timber Surf for being a fantastic moderator. Again, cannot thank you enough for your help. Thank you to everyone for watching. Thank you to the thumbs uppers, and thank you to the bell hitters. And yeah, I cannot say enough. So we will be back in 2 weeks today at 8 o'clock, and we will have basically a bit of, I will talk about Gaydon, what we got up to. I don't know how much we'll film, because if we're too busy to film, it means we've had good sales, which is a good thing. So I will try to get some film of Gaydon as well. So anyway, thank you ever so much to everyone for watching. And we're getting, you know, 50 minutes. That's pretty close to an hour. That's close enough to an hour for me. And yeah, thank you to everybody, and do take care. So now we